On today's episode, we are going to take a look at Tesla. Tesla for the day was down 5.6%, and right now after hours is down 7%. So today's episode is going to be broken down into the following. First, we want to understand what today was. Why was today such an special day for Tesla? Then we're going to talk about why is it down for the day. Next, we're going to talk about why it's down after hours. Then we're going to take a look at Battery Day and some of the news and new products that came out during that presentation. And at the end, I'm just going to end with my thoughts. And like always, if you are new to my channel, if you're a long-term investor, and if you like to learn about growth stocks, make sure to hit that subscribe button. To all my returning viewers, thank you so much for the support. It truly means a lot. Like always, if you guys want to get in contact with me, YouTube comments, Twitter, you can find me on my Discord channel, on Twitch, or on josenaharo.com. Like always, all the information that I provide here is free, and all of this is my opinions and should not be taken as advice, as I am not a professional. So make sure to talk to a financial advisor before making any financial decisions. Now let's get started. Like I mentioned, today we are going to talk about Tesla, but right now it's pretty much just about the price movements and some of the new news that they came out today. If you guys want me to do a full analysis on Tesla and really take a look at their numbers, make sure to let me know in the comments. So today was a big day for Tesla. A lot of investors were excited because two things were coming out. At the beginning, at around 4:30 Eastern time, it was a shareholder meeting for 2020. So this is pretty much when Elon Musk and other top people in the company come out and just talk about the past results of the year for Tesla. Most of the knowledge that was presented here is pretty much old news because the fiscal year for Tesla ended a while ago. So all those numbers that they presented were already given to us in their most recent earnings. The presentation following the shareholder meeting is what a lot of investors were looking for. And this was known as Battery Day. So Battery Day is when Tesla, Elon Musk comes up and talks about the future products and future developments that they're going to do with the company in the upcoming years. So obviously now this is pretty cool because it lets us know where Tesla is gonna go in the future. And one thing before I continue, let me just say I am not a Tesla holder right now. I am neither a bull or a bear on Tesla. And here I'm just gonna give the facts I find out and try to do it in the most unbiased opinion. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Josenaharo, and I do fundamental analysis on companies almost every single day. But I don't do this full time. My real-time job is an electrical engineer. So I tend to do a lot of electrical, a lot of technology, a lot of software companies in these analysis because those are the companies I can truly understand. You won't see, in this channel, you won't see many stocks about, for example, biomed, pharmaceutical, banking, because those are companies I don't understand. So I normally just stick with what I know and the technology. And technology I might not truly understand, but at least I understand the general process of it. All right, so yeah, like I mentioned, for Battery Day, investors were pretty pumped for it because it kind of shows us where a company is going to go. And as an investors, that's what we're super excited. We want to grow. We want to get into companies that are gonna grow and come out with new products as the years progress, right? There's no point in investing in a company that's not working in developing or increasing themselves. So that's pretty much what Battery Day does. All right, so now that we understand what happened today, let's understand why the stock was down for the day. So before the presentation even happened, the stock was already down 5.6%. And this is all, I want to say it's thanks to a tweet from Elon Musk, but I don't mean that in a negative way at all. So Elon tweeted this yesterday afternoon. He mentioned, important note about Tesla Battery Day, unveiled tomorrow. This affects long-term production, especially in the Semi, Cybertruck, and Roadster, but what we announced will not reach serious high-volume production until 2022. They also mentioned that they intend to increase, not reduce, battery cell purchases from Panasonic, LG, and CATL, possibly other partners as well. However, even with our cell suppliers going at maximum speed, they still foresee significant shortage in 2022 and beyond unless they take actions themselves. So how is this really, how does this make the stock price drop? And like I mentioned, what is Battery Day? Battery Day is when investors are willing to are going in to see what Elon Musk has planned for the future. So by telling us, so what happens, and this is something that I feel a lot of new investors get hurt in. So I kind of want to really talk about this. So there's something coming out, a new presentation. So there's so much hype going on that, hey, Tesla's not going to reduce something that's going to be life changing, and it's going to happen within the next years. So this type of hype starts increasing the stock price up and up and up. And when I mean hype, I mean, and the stock price going up, I mean this in the short-term volatility, right? As a long-term investor, this short-term volatility shouldn't really affect you. And I do believe this stock price in the long term of things will continue to go up. But like I mentioned, right now, all this hype increases that stock price dramatically in just a matter of few days, because investors are like, oh man, something crazy is going to come out, something amazing is going to come out. And Elon Musk ended up coming out with that tweet, and it says, hey guys, we're going to come out with something crazy, but it's not something that will really affect us now. So that kind of kills down that hype and starts making people sell off. And like I mentioned, this type of hype, I feel like really hurts short-term investors, and mainly new investors that are just buying into the hype. And unfortunately, that's what happened for the day, and that's why I believe the stock price is down 5.6% before the presentation even started. So if you are a new investor, one thing I would want to say is try to understand the hype, and try to always put realistic expectations for the presentations, right? Especially if you're looking to make a quick buck pretty quick. I'm pretty sure the long-term investors who are invested in Tesla for the foreseeable future, yes, they do get hurt with the 6% going down, but in the long term of things, it's pretty much just noise to them, because they do expect the company to continue to grow, and they're not here for the quick buck. They're here for holding the company in the long term of things and making that money throughout the time progress. So now what happened after hours? So after hours, the company is down another 7%. And may I say, I thought what they presented, and we're going to take a look at that in the upcoming minutes. I thought what they presented was pretty cool. But again, I don't believe it met that hype. So even though Elon Musk said that there wasn't going to be much changes coming in the near future, investors still are still saying, well, we're probably still believing that it was going to be something revolutionary. And as an electrical engineer, I do believe the product, the battery that they showed, is going to be something that's going to change the world throughout the upcoming years, but not something that's going to change it right now. And investors, they were still believing that hype. And even though Elon Musk tweeted that, they still had some form of hype built in, some form of expectation that it at least would have been something a lot better than what they presented. So even though what they presented wasn't bad at all, it still did not meet the expectations of that big hype that had driven the stock price up dramatically and continued to sell off. Now, again, that hype can go both ways, right? I'm not a short-term investor. I'm more of a long-term investor. So this is pretty much just volatility. But that hype, like I mentioned, can go both ways. Right now, the hype could be pulling it in. Again, it could be completely wrong, but that hype can be pulling the stock price too down right now, that eventually people are going to be like, oh wait, we kind of overreacted with the price decrease, very similar how we overreacted with the price increase. So we can see like a rubber band effect where things kind of start going back to normal. Again, as a long-term investor, this is pretty much still new, is still much noise for you, right? Year to date, Tesla has returned over 400%. So it has returned 5 times your money if you've been an investor year to date. Even in the past month, unfortunately, if you're, and may I say, if you bought your stocks in the past month and you consider yourself long holding already right now, that's not long holding, right? When I talk about long-term holding, I'm talking about multiple years in a position. Even 6 months I would consider. Obviously, if you're planning to holding for a long time, yes, you are a long holder. But if you're saying I'm holding for 6 months, that's a long-term position. For me, that's still a short-term position. In the past 5 years, Tesla has returned amazing returns almost 800%, almost 9 times your money if you invested. So this is the power of long-term investment. And as a long-term investor, you have this clear mind that yes, the price goes down, the price goes up, but that's volatility. If you still believe in the business, then this stuff like this should not really worry you. All right, so now that we talked about that, let's kind of talk about what they presented today. So the first cool thing that they presented was Elon Musk said on Tuesday that he expects vehicle deliveries to increase by 30 to 40% compared to the same time last year. That's a huge increase in growth, and we can see this is why many people consider Tesla a growth stock. I mean, growing your products and selling them and selling vehicles and increase by 30 to 40%, that's not something many companies can do. So actually, before we go on any further what happened, let me talk about the two main products Tesla revealed on their presentation. The first one was a vehicle, and this was the Model S Plaid. And this is the newest, highest performance version of the sedan. The electric car is going to have over 520 miles of range, 200 miles per hour of top speed, and 0 to 60 acceleration in less than 2 seconds. May I say, 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds in a quarter mile of less than 9 seconds. It's going to have a tri-motor all-wheel drive. That is amazing. That is a crazy fast car. I can't even imagine how that feels. My fastest car right now, I think, does 0 to 60 in about 4.2. So half that time. That to me would be insane. And the car itself looks pretty cool. It doesn't look much different from the Tesla Model S. It might have a little more aggressive look. And right now, the price starts off at about $140,000 before any options, and it's available to pre-order. Unfortunately, the car is not. It has been delayed until late 2021, so about a year and a half ago from now. And sometimes we have to take these times kind of to a grain of salt, because many times Tesla and like many other companies are a little bit too hopeful in their production lines that we might end up seeing a little bit more delays coming up. And this is just something as investors one should expect. Right? Nothing always comes out perfect, right? Who would have thought COVID-19 would have happened and kind of slowed down production? So scenarios like that can happen out of nowhere and can push productions a little bit further in delay. The second one, which was I think even the coolest part, and I don't know if this is just the electrical engineer of me coming out, is they did announce a new battery. And like we mentioned we saw in Elon Musk's tweet, that right now, even though they are producing new batteries and they want to increase the production of new batteries, they're not going to stop the buying from Panasonic, LG, or CATL, because the demand that they need is so crazy that even with those other partnerships going at full speed, they still need to do something themselves to be able to meet the demand that they're going to need in the future. So as a long-term investor, that's something you want to hear, that hey, even with the help of other battery makers and with Tesla producing their own batteries, they still believe that they won't meet demand and need to even improve further on. So that as a long-term investor should be something that goes, wow, that tells me that I'm in the right company for the long term of things. Again, these are just my opinions. I'm not a shareholder of Tesla at the moment, but if I was, I feel like that's what I would be saying. And this battery that they mentioned, they say is something revolutionary. It's going to have 5 times the energy. It's going to have 16% increase in range and about 6 times the power. And the main reason they're doing this battery is because they believe Tesla is trying to change the way batteries are built. They're saying that the way batteries are built right now, if they continue going on with this, it's not going to meet the expectation of the future for their vehicles. So they have to develop something new, and this is what they came out with. So the battery itself contains new cells, and these new cells are bigger and offer, like I mentioned, better energy. And one problem usually when making bigger cells for batteries, you're going to have some form of thermal management program, and Tesla came up with a solution to fix that issue. And they kind of talk about it during the presentation. Elon, who loves talking, that guy is super smart. He loves explaining things. And unfortunately, sometimes he's just way too smart for us to understand. But if you are more of a chemical, more of a chemical and electrical engineer, I'm pretty sure, or just someone who knows, who's more knowledgeable, right? You don't have to be an engineer. If you are knowledgeable in that realm, you probably love hearing Elon Musk talk about stuff like that. This new battery will also help reduce the cost of the vehicles because the manufacturing process to make those cells brings several cost improvements. All right, so now that we know what two products they talked about, we can kind of more read what happened in the battery day. So like I mentioned, right, the new battery and manufacturing advances in Tesla is working on will soon lead to lower prices, which will be vital for getting more electric vehicles on the road. Elon Musk says in about 3 years from now, they are confident that they can make a very compelling $25,000 electrical vehicle that's also fully autonomous. That to me is kind of insane. We've heard claims like this in the past with Elon. I do believe it's something that would happen in the future. The only thing that people should, or investors should be a little bit skeptical about should be the timeline. Again, we've seen Elon Musk kind of promise things in the past, and I do believe some of those promises are going to come in the future, just not within that timeline that he might mention from time to time. So right now, battery cells are mainly made in Fremont. I think that's Nevada right now. But they also confirmed that Tesla plans to manufacture battery cells at its factory that is now under construction in Germany. And one thing that I think is pretty cool also, to make batteries, a lot of expensive materials actually go into making battery cells today. So Tesla is right now looking for ways to avoid or reduce using some expensive materials. So that's something, again, that itself would be something that would be revolutionary to the world. If they can come out with a productive and efficient way to make batteries without the use of some of those expensive materials. And right here, one of the professors in Mellon University said that if Tesla can make cheap, reliable batteries with little or no cobalt, it will really improve the ability of electrical vehicles to scale up. Most cobalt right now is from the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the mining has long generated human rights and child labor concerns. And this was actually something that was mentioned in the presentation today as well. So people are aware that some of these cobalt mines do have some form of human rights and child labor concerns. So that was pretty much all that happened today for Tesla. That's why I believe the stock price is down before the presentation came out, and after hours, that hype still continued and still dragging the price down. And to me, the main purpose of this is hopefully to try to help other investors to understand why the stock price moves the way they do, right? It's not 100% certain that that's the reason, but buying into the hype and just expecting a quick buck or a quick turnaround for most of the times doesn't really work out that well. But as a long-term investor, right, I'm pretty sure long-term investors, like I mentioned earlier in this episode, are obviously hurting with almost over a 10% drop on their stocks in just a day. But throughout their long-term holdings, I'm pretty sure they're still willing to buy more positions. And so like always, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you want me to do a full analysis on Tesla, looking at those numbers from their full annual report, make sure to let me know on the comments. Like always, guys, thank you so much. And if you like it, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Take care, guys, and have a good night.